After 2 days arguing over whether a handwriting expert was needed to verify Najib Razak's signatures, the former leader got his wish when his application was approved by Judge Nazlan today. The judge said Najib was entitled to procure the relevant evidence and that the court has to ensure his constitutional right to a fair trial. By the Malaysian Insight, this is The People versus Najib Razak. Follow us into the courtroom where it all happens. I'm Patrick Teo. Najib stepped out of his black sedan wearing a light brown suit with a darker coloured tie. It was the 22nd of January 2020, or day 71 of his SRC international trial. While waiting for the lifts, which took a rather long time this morning, Najib entertained his supporters' requests for selfies. The first thing on the agenda was Judge Nazlan's decision on the defence's request for a handwriting expert, which he granted. The expert in question is a Dr. Stephen Struck from Australia. The documents are to be made available to Dr. Stephen for not more than 2 days, and the examination has to be completed before the trial continued on February 3rd. The judge added that the evidence of the expert can be rebutted by the prosecution. After that, Najib was back on the witness stand. Prosecutor Sitam picked up where he left off yesterday, insisting that had Najib not interfered, KWAP would not have granted SRC the second 2 billion ringgit loan. He argued that Najib's decision to personally meet with Abdul Aziz Wan Abdullah, who was the former head of KWAP's investment panel, was the only reason SRC was given the loan. Najib denied this. He said even though his word carried some weight, ultimately it was KWAP's decision. The prosecutor then asked Najib why the disbursement of the second loan was rushed. It was because SRC needed sufficient capital for investments, he said. But they did not give a concrete plan, Sitam asked. No, Najib replied. The prosecutor then broached the subject of Nik Faisal Arif Kamil, who was the former CEO of SRC and now missing. Sitam accused Najib of keeping Nik on the board because Nik was the mandate holder for his AmBank accounts and was his man in SRC to carry out his bidding. Najib, however, disagreed and said he kept Nik around as he was tasked with bringing back SRC's money from Switzerland. To which Sitam sarcastically remarked, "You cannot send a crook to get back the money, sir." During a short break in proceedings, Najib headed down to the basement cafeteria for a cup of coffee and a bite to eat. When court reconvened, Sitam began asking questions about the flow of money from SRC to Najib's personal accounts through the company's subsidiaries. I'll let our new producer, Amina, tell you about this part.
The lawyer asked Najib if he was aware that 27 million ringgit deposited into his accounts was from SRC. He didn't. Sitam observed that it was amazing that he did not know and yet he spent every penny of it. Najib said he thought it was part of the CSR fund he had. He was also shocked that his private secretary, the late Azlin Alias, did not inform him of a 32 million ringgit inflow into his account. Sitam told Najib that there was no reason for Azlin and Nik to hide the deposits from him. He said it would be ludicrous for the mandate holder or Azlin to have kept away funds going into the Prime Minister's account for no reason. Najib, yet again, disagreed. In total, Najib's private accounts were deposited with 42 million ringgit.
After lunch, Sitam honed in on Najib's AmBank accounts and why they were opened. Najib said the accounts were opened to receive the Arab donations. This was after a discussion with fugitive businessman Joe Low and Azlin. He agreed with Sitam that AmBank was chosen because Joe was familiar with them. Besides the accounts, Najib also had 2 credit cards from AmBank. Today, he told the court that he had credit cards from other banks too, which he used for his personal expenditure. But the AmBank credit cards he wanted to use to buy gifts for heads of state, which he did. Najib bought jewellery for a former Qatari PM's wife while holidaying in Italy and charged it to these cards. The prosecutor then asked about the 2.6 billion ringgit Arab donation. Najib said he was told that the money went into his 694 account, but he did not see the statement. He did, however, have letters from the Arabs about it. Sitam quipped that it was akin to someone winning the lottery but not looking at the lottery ticket. I put it to you, the donation letters bearing the Arab prince's signatures have no original copies available. The letters are fake and a forgery, Sitam said. No, I had the originals, Najib replied. They must currently be with the Prime Minister's department, he said. Referring to Najib's witness statement, Sitam brought up the part where the former PM said he had returned the balance of the donation. Najib said the funds were for the general election, after which he had returned the remainder. Did you ask for more funds after? Sitam asked. Joe had asked because he had connections with them, but I didn't know what he was doing at that time, Najib answered. Soon after, proceedings wrapped up for the day, to be continued tomorrow. This podcast is produced, written and mixed by Revati Supramaniam, Yapik Kwan and Amina Farid. I'm Patrick Teo.